Good afternoon. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and today we'll be testing out Ant-Man versus Red Skull on expert difficulty. In the original content that I did with Ant-Man, I did not play the hand size for giant form properly. It's supposed to be 4. I gave him credit for 5. In my defense, hand size is, the text is very tiny. But I should have noticed it, and I didn't, so we're going to replay with the proper hand size and giant form so we can properly evaluate the hero. I do think he's probably worse than I originally thought. Maybe not a lot worse. I do still think Army of Ants is very strong, but we'll see how he plays. So we'll get the decks shuffled up. This isn't a great hand. I don't really need Hive Mind or Giant Stomp to start, but I'll keep the 2 resources and War Machine. And then we also got Pim Particles. So we could have a reasonably big turn here. Let's flip to Tiny. Move 1 threat. We'll use Pim Particles, Giant Strength for Agent Coulson, and search the deck and discard pile for a prep card. The prep card, there's only 1 in the deck, and it's just there to be drawn by Coulson and then used as a resource, really. And then we get to draw 1 card for Pim Particles as well. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for War Machine. Or would I rather do something like 1, 2, 3 for Beat Cop? And we'll save those 2 for later, I think. We'll use Coulson to thwart. Use Ant-Man for 1 damage. Actually, I want to use Beat Cop to thwart first in order to get a token on there. And then we'll draw 3. So 1 threat, 1 side scheme incoming. That'll be Hydra Reinforcements. That's a nasty one. And then we've got 1 attack from Red Skull, which Ant-Man will defend. If you are in hero form, the villain attacks you after this activation with no boost cards. So the initial attack does no damage. The second attack for 2 will deal damage. Then we have 2 encounter cards incoming, 1 extra for Hydra Reinforcements. Master Strategist, and under fire, that's 2 more encounter cards. Advance, so that's a scheme for when Red Skull activates. So I think that's the extra boost card now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just 5 scheme. And then a Surge to Hydra Regular with Insight 1. Okay. Well, let's use Coulson to thwart for 2, which defeats the Hydra Regular. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for War Machine, and use him to thwart for 2. Beat Cop to thwart for 1. We'll discard that one and draw 5. And 1 threat and 1 side scheme. And 1 attack from Red Skull on Coulson. And 1 encounter card. I forgot the additional encounter card from Red Skull at the start, so let's deal 2 now. Okay, so there's Scott Lang, which heals for 1. And a blank Surge. And another Master Strategist. Not too bad. So let's flip to Tiny form. Well, first let's get out Ant-Man's helmet. That card is so good that I'm willing to get rid of Wasp and Skilled Investigator, which are both very good. But let's flip to Tiny form. And first let's thwart with War Machine for 2. Then let's flip to Tiny, remove 1 threat, and draw a card. Let's use... I don't really want to use Resize here, because I don't really want to end in Giant form. But if I don't, I think I actually draw less cards in this context. So let's flip to Giant form, deal 1 damage, heal, use Beak Cop. Oh wait, no, we flipped to Giant form with Resize, sorry, because we already flipped forms once. So flip to Giant form with Resize and draw a card. Pim Particles for Army of Ants, which would heal for 2 with Pim Particles, but we're full HP. And that's going to be everything. We can't use Army of Ants this round. We'll just draw 4. And ready up. So 1 threat, 1 side quest incoming. So when the Hydra Patrol was defeated, it should have brought into play a Hydra Regular. Which I did not have the ability to do anything about, really. So 1 side quest, Mass Chaos, discard 5. That's just 2 resource types, so not that bad a result. And Red Skull's going to attack, which will have Giant Ant-Man defend. 2 boost cards incoming. Give Red Skull a tough status card. It's +1, so 1, 2, 3 currently. And he gets his Luger. So no damage. Master Strategist goes away. Then the Hydra Regular attacks for 2. And we got 1 encounter card incoming, which is Shadow of the Past. Okay. So for the hero turn, let's use Lay Down the Law for a Clear the Area. Remove 2 threat. Draw a card. Use Power of Justice for a second Clear the Area. Remove 2 threat and draw a card. We can flip to Tiny. Remove 1 threat. And draw a card with Ant-Man's helmet. And go 1, 2, 3 for another Beak Cop. Use this Beak Cop for 1 threat removal. And I'm going to use this Beak Cop's action to deal 3 to Yellow Jacket and Army of Ants to deal 1. None of those are attacks, so they don't deal. They wouldn't proc retaliate even if I was in Giant form, but he only has that in Giant. And we'll use War Machine to finish off Hydra Regular, so not bad. We'll draw 5. We're getting built. Ant-Man's helmet is so good, and once we get out the 3 Army of Ants, we'll be dominant. There should be 1 left in the deck. I think I discarded 1 earlier. 1 threat, 1 side quest. We still have the best side quest for us coming, not the Sleeper Awakens, certainly. Red Skull will attack. And 1 encounter card, which is Advance. So he schemes for 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to advance the quest. And reveal the top card of the side scheme deck, which is Prison Camps. Well, that was a big turn for Red Skull. So let's go ahead and use Beak Cop. Let's lay down the law for Clear the Area. And we can go grab an ally. First, I think I want to ping the Sleeper. Then we'll do we'll clear the area, grab an ally. I'm thinking about Mockingbird potentially, maybe Nick Fury. We could go with Nick Fury. And draw 3. That will bring in another encounter card. Let's go Giant Strength to get out Army of Ants number 2. Use Army of Ants on the sleeper. Use Nick Fury on the sleeper. Let's use Resize, flip to Giant Form, and ping the toughness off of Red Skull. And draw a card. Also heal for 2 with Ant-Man's helmet. We'll use Avengers Mansion, Giant Stomp for Quake. No, Avengers Mansion, Giant Stomp, and Quake for Jessica Jones. We'll deal 2 damage to the sleeper, which causes retaliate. So I actually couldn't ping. No, I can ping damage off of Army of Ants because Guard protects against attacks, but Army of Ants is not an attack. Anyway, we finish off the sleeper. And let's deal 3 damage to Red Skull. And then flip back to Tiny using our standard flip action. Remove 1 threat and draw a card. Do I want to keep that? I guess. We're getting close to getting built up, so we may have extra resources for stunning. The sleeper goes away. And we'll draw 4. One threat, 1 side scheme. Censor the past. 1 attack from Red Skull on Nick Fury. Give the villain a tough status card and another boost card. If you're in hero form, the villain attacks you after this activation. Okay. So he'll attack for 1, 2, 3 damage with no boost card. We'll just eat the damage. Then we got 2 encounter cards coming in. Hydra Flame Soldier. And size increase. Okay, so for the hero round, let's go Beat Cop. Let's go Wasp. For 3 and remove 2 threat. Which brings back 3 cards from the discard pile. Nick Fury, Resize, and probably Lay Down the Law. Let's ping the Hydra Flame Soldier and use Wasp for 2 damage. And I think I'm gonna flip to Giant Form here for 1 damage, 2 healing thanks to the helmet, and then 3 damage. And then we'll draw 3. I think I'm set up sufficiently with the helmet and 2 Army of Ants that I can tolerate the small hand size. So 1 threat, 1 side scheme. Censor the past. 1 attack from Red Skull, which is gonna use a size counter and give him +2 attack. It's no problem though, he doesn't have overkill. Hopefully this isn't an extra attack for the encounter cards. Hydra Flame Soldier. Okay, so we're on to the hero phase. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to keep the giant stomp? No, I don't think so. 1, 2, 3 for Mockingbird and get a stun. Let's use giant form for 3. Mockingbird for 1. We'll flip to tiny. Remove a threat. Use wasp to remove 2. That's going to shuffle in 3 cards again. I may want a giant stomp again. And then we'll use Beat Cop for 1. And we'll ping 2 damage. Draw 4. 1 threat. 1 side scheme. Hydra reinforcements. Remove stun. After attached enemy activates. So I think he still uses a size counter even though he was stunned. Because it's after he activates, not after he initiates an attack. Then we have 1 encounter card, which is exhaust a character for each side scheme. Okay. Not bad at all. And then we have 1 more encounter card because of Hydra reinforcements, which is Insight 1 and attached to a side scheme, which basically is a surge when we clear it. So for the hero phase, let's go Power of Justice for Quake. Or do I want a Power of Justice, lay down the law for a Beat Cop? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the Beat Cops going for Hydra reinforcements. That gets rid of Twisted Reality. Let's see, get some damage on the boss. Let's thwart a little bit. I think I'm gonna flip here to giant. Ant-Man's helmet makes it worth it to flip, I think, even with the reduced hand size. So, do I want to thwart for 2 first? Or would I rather deal 3 damage? I think I'd rather deal 3 damage. So let's flip to giant form. Deal 1 damage. Then let's push Red Skull into phase 2, which reveals an encounter card and also heals me for 1. And we'll draw 2 cards. So 1 threat, 1 side scheme. Mass Chaos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 2 again. 1 attack from Red Skull, which uses his final size counter. And we have Red Skull attacking Mockingbird for a lot. And we're going to have 3 encounter cards. We got Assault. It'll be blocked by Wasp. Hydra Exo Soldier and Bitter Rival. Okay, so I may use one of the Beat Cops here to take out this Hydra Exo Soldier. Let's go. Let's flip to tiny. First, let's use. How do I want to do this? We can Beat Cop to remove 1 threat. Then when we flip to tiny, we can remove one threat. And we can go, flipping to tiny draws a card. That's a terrible card to draw. We can pin particles, lay down the law to remove 3. We draw a card with the pin particles. Ping the toughness. From the Exo Soldier. And we'll use Beat Cop to take him out. Then we'll go 1-2 for Quake. Use Quake for 2 damage. Army of Ants for 1 more, and then we'll draw 4. 1 threat. 1 side scheme. Tech theft. That should go to the side scheme deck, right? It's all side schemes for this scenario. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we have 1 attack from Red Skull on Quake. And 1 encounter card, which is another Exo Soldier. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Power of Justice and Giant Strength for Coulson. We can search the discard pile to get that prep back. It's the only one in the deck. Or that counterintelligence. We'll ping the toughness. Gonna use counterintelligence for clear the area to get rid of tech theft. Draw card. Beat Cop. And I'm gonna flip to Giant here after I ping Red Skull for 1 damage. I'm not gonna go after the Exo Soldier this round. Let's flip to Giant and we'll start getting some damage on the boss. I use Coulson for damage as well, and I'm gonna hope to down him next round with the assistance of Daredevil. We'll see. Draw just 2 being in giant form, and then we got 1 threat. I know I have prison camps coming up soon too. Hydra Patrol. Attack from Red Skull. I think I'm just gonna face tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 damage from the Exo Soldier, and then 1 encounter card. Spreading Lies, 2 threat, 2 threat. Okay, can I deal 11 damage here? I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I cannot. Well, let's use the Beat Cop, I think. No, I want to save it. Let's get 1 threat. Let's flip to tiny. First, let's attack. Then let's flip to tiny. Remove 1 threat. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Daredevil. Thwart. Deal 1 damage. Use Army of Ants. 2 damage. I should have drawn a card with Ant-Man's helmet. And let's thwart for 2 with Coulson, and then we'll draw 3. So next turn, hopefully, we'll kill him. 1 threat, 1 side quest. The Hydra Patrol should have brought in a Hydra regular. There he is. And the Hydra, so we had 1 threat and we have 1 side scheme. There's prison camps. 1 attack on Coulson. 2 damage from the Hydra regular. 1 encounter card. Infinite power. Give Red Skull a tough status attack card, and then he attacks. That's going to have to go on Daredevil. Okay, so for the hero round, can go, let's see, we'll use Army Advance to ping the toughness off. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury. And draw 3 cards. It's going to deal another encounter card. So we got multiple resizes and Pim particles. That's funny. So 1 damage. We can flip the giant. 1 damage and then just go 1, 2, 3 for giant stomp. Okay. Well, compared to my first time playing this quest with Ant-Man, it's a little more challenging. For sure, when you have a hand size of only 4 and giant, that's to be expected, but the deck still revolves around building. It's a deck that scales up into the end game with the 3 Army of Ants and the Ant-Man's helmet. Ant-Man's helmet is such an important card for this deck. With Ant-Man's helmet, it's a very strong deck, and the 3 Army of Ants. So I still think he's like an S tier deck, but probably like an S minus, not quite at the level of Captain America and Doctor Strange. So I'm making this video later than I made a number of other videos in which I called Ant-Man an S tier hero. I would just simply amend that to be an S minus or A plus tier hero. Still think he's very strong. So let's get Zola set up and we'll try and attempt against Zola as well. Okay, we're here with Justice Ant-Man against Arnim Zola. So we need Wasp to go in the Hydra prison. Where is Wasp? There she is. And 3 threat on the scheme. Okay, just reminding myself the mechanics of this encounter. And we'll draw our hand. Don't want to keep wrist gauntlets or more than 1 lay down the law. Or giant stomp. Ideally, we'd like to prioritize Ant-Man's helmet and Army of Ants. Drawing Coulson and counterintelligence together is funny. Let's go ahead and flip to Tiny. Remove 1 threat from Hydra Prison. And we'll lay down the law using Pim Particles, which draws a card. Get rid of Hydra Prison. Get Wasp back. We'll use Tiny Ant-Man to get rid of the test subjects, which means discarding until a minion is discarded. And it's the worst one. So we need a tech attachment for it. Defensive programming, so plus 2 HP. Let's go with the Mockingbird for 1, 2, 3. Get a stun on Zola. Let's ping the toughness off of the Bioservant. I could get Agent Coulson out here, but Wasp is so good I don't really want to discard her. So I think I'm going to discard Agent Coulson. I'll keep Power of Justice though. And we'll draw 3. I was hoping for B-Cop. 1 threat, 1 test token. Remove stun. Attack for 3. And then we got one encounter card, which is Master Plan. So we have to go look for a side scheme. Zola's Experiments. After a minion enters play, attach the topmost tech attachment to that minion. That's terrible. I want to get rid of that as soon as possible. We can get out Quake. And we can get out Wasp with her 2 threat reduction thanks to being in tiny form. We can go Mockingbird for 1 threat reduction. And let's start getting rid of these dudes. Gonna have to flip the giant here, I think. So let's deal the 2 damage from Wasp. Or from Quake, I mean, to Zola's Mutate. Let's use Iron Man, or Ant-Man's 1 damage from giant form to deal 1 to the Bioservant. Attack with him for 3 to the Bioservant. Attack with Wasp for 2 to Zola's Mutate. Then we'll draw 4. 1 threat, 1 test counter. 2 damage, or 2 attack on Mockingbird, and then 2 from Zola's Mutate. And 1 encounter card, which is Advance, so he schemes for 1, 2, 3. Could be worse. So we need 3 more damage to kill Zola's Mutate, which I will do with Giant Ant-Man. We'll flip the tiny. Move threat. Move 1 threat. Go 1, 2, 3 for Jessica Jones. And we're just going to remove 2 threat with Wasp and stand. We're not going to attack with Jessica Jones because of the retaliate. It's not very efficient. For this scenario, we really need to get it set up with Army of Ants, but they're being shy at the moment. And Ant-Man's helmet is in there as well. We'll draw 5. There's 2 of them, okay. So 1 threat, 1 test token, which means going to find a minion. Zola's Mutate again. And on the last card of the deck, it gets a pain inhibitor. That's brutal. I think when I played this with Ant-Man in my original video, I had better luck. I think I got set up with Army of Ants faster. And also didn't get Zola's Mutates, at least not early. I got the mild one. But anyway. Now Zola gets an attack. Put that on Wasp. Is the encounter deck out of cards? Oh yeah, it is. And then Zola's Mutate gets to attack for 2. And we got 1 encounter card coming, which is Shadow of the Past. This attempt does not look promising. Only because we've taken too long to get set up, I think. But let's see, we've got Power of Justice, lay down the law for 2 Army of Ants. We can go Jessica Jones for 2 damage. Army of Ants for 2. Let's thwart for 2. This is not super important to get rid of yet. So let's thwart on the main scheme. Hive Mind can thwart for 4 right now. Let's draw 4. No, let's flip to Scott Lang here. And then draw 5. I would like to make use of Quake's damage on Zola's Mutate because it dodges the Retaliate. So 2, and then we scheme for 3. It's going to advance the scheme, which means searching the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion to reveal. We'll grab the Berserk Mutate because the Quick Strike doesn't go off. And then the Mutate will scheme for 1. And we have 1 encounter card coming, which is Ultimate Bioservant, which should have a toughness on it. Do I need to recover with Scott Lang? I may need to Giant Stomp the Mutate. I really wish I had a resize here. Well, let's flip the Giant. Remove toughness. Let's go 1, 2, 3 for Giant Stomp on the Mutate. 8 damage, 1 Retaliate. 1 damage to the other minions. And we can use Jessica Jones for 2 on the Mutate. So actually, the Mutate should have taken 2 from Quake if I remembered it. I said that I wanted to do that and then I immediately forgot. Let's use Hive Mind for cleaning the area. Draw a card. And we'll throw away Giant Strength and then draw 4. And use Giant Ant-Man's attack for the Bioservant. Does clear the board. I should have done that before drawing. Important to note. So 2 threat, 1 test token, 1 attack on Jessica Jones. 1 encounter card. Mutate with a quick strike of 2. And we'll go ahead and resize. Or do I want to? Where is my helmet? It's in the bottom 7 cards. Oof. We can use Giant Ant-Man to take out Berserk Mutate. We can use Resize. Flip to Tiny, remove 1 threat. Paying some damage. And we'll use Clear the Area a little bit inefficiently here, but I just want to reduce threat as much as possible before I flip to Alter Ego and draw 5. There's the helmet. And then we got 2 threat. We got a scheme for 1, 2. And 1 encounter card. Which is Master Plan. Zola's Experiments. Okay, so I think I do need to heal here. Definitely want to get out the helmet. We'll flip to Tiny. Actually, I think I can't heal. I think I need to thwart. Flip to Tiny, we'll remove 1 threat. How do I want to do this? I think I don't flip the tiny first. I think I flip the giant first, which will heal for 2 with Ant-Man's helmet. I can play Skilled Investigator. And I can resize. Flip to tiny. Remove 1 threat. Draw a card for resize. Draw a card for Ant-Man's helmet. And I'll use pin particles to get out the 3rd army of ants, and I'll draw a card that I'm decked, so I owe an encounter card. Clear the area is a very good draw, though. We'll use Beat Cop to clear the area, which draws a card, and also draws a card for Skilled Investigator. Another resize. Do I want to make use of that? Well, I want to thwart. I'll save the resize for next turn. Let's ping for 3 damage. These Army of Ants are so important for Zola because they don't proc retaliate thanks to not being attacks. I think I'll get rid of Giant Stomp and draw 4. And then we got 2 threat. We got 1 test counter, so that brings in a minion. We're set up now. Is it too late? Got 1 attack from Zola on Quake. 2 encounter cards incoming. 1 is defensive programming. Mind Ray. Zola attacks you and you are stunned. We'll need to exhaust to defend that. So no damage, but we do get a stun. Can still Army of Ants though. Well, let's resize. Draw a card. Flip to Giant. Before doing that, let's use Army of Ants. We'll remove Toughness. No, let's not remove Toughness. Let's just do 3 damage. And we'll resize. Flip to Giant. Remove Toughness. And we'll lay down the Law. We heal for 2 with the helmet. Lay down the Law to clear 4 threat thanks to using a science resource. We'll go ahead and flip back to tiny. Yeah, okay, I think I need to change the timing of this. I don't want to lay down the Law right now. What I want to do right now is Giant Stomp, I think. No, I can't really do this the way I want to, can I? No. So ideally, I'd like to be able to use Pin Particles to draw another card, because then I could use Giant Stomp here to take out this Bioservant. But I think I have to leave him for now. And I actually can't... Oh yeah, I can go over the guard because it's not an attack, so there's no issue there. But I actually think I may want to undo that damage from earlier and put it on the Bioservant, because I think it's only got 6 HP, so 2 turns of Army of Ants will take care of it. Let's go. And I could actually take care of it with Wasp if I want to, which I think I do. Pin Particles, lay down the Law, Giant Stomp for Wasp, 2 damage. 2 more. That's really risky though, letting Mad Doctor go so high. I don't think I can do that. So let's wait until after we flip to Tiny to use Wasp, and then we can reduce threat by 2. It's really, I've gotten really out of order, but I think everything is correct here. And then we can move threat by 2 more. We can draw a card with Ant-Man's helmet. The Pim particles that I used to pay for Wasp should have healed Ant-Man by 2. Otherwise, everything is square. Do I want to keep Avengers Mansion? I don't think so. Draw 4. Really out of order turn. Sorry about that. 2 threat. Zola attacks. We'll have Ant-Man defend. 1 damage. 1 damage from the Bioservant. And 1 encounter card. Villain attacks. Do we need to have Wasp tank that? Yeah, I might. We'll have Wasp tank it. 1 damage to each character you control. Okay. So that ended up just fine. For the hero turn, we'll go 5/6, take out the Bioservant. 1 damage for Zola. I'm going to resize. 1 damage, and draw a card, and heal for 2 with the helmet. I'm going to resize back to Tiny. 1 threat, and draw a card with the helmet. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. And we'll go 1, 2, 3 for Beat Cop and start using it. And we'll use Nick Fury for 2 damage. He takes an extra damage because of Retaliate. Then we'll draw 4. I'd say now with the full setup, victory is pretty likely. With Ant-Man, as long as you have time to get Ant-Man's helmet and 3 Army of Ants out, he has the ability to, well, his ceiling is quite high. He and Iron Man probably have the highest ceilings of any heroes that I've covered. Not a lot of heroes I've noticed in Marvel Champions have the ability to ramp well. What ramp cards there are often exist in the basic set with cards like Avengers Mansion or Helicarrier. And by ramp, what I mean is play cards that don't give you a lot immediately, but you can use every single turn, and they continue giving value every single turn. And the longer the game goes on, the more value you get from them. That would be cards like Army of Ants, Arc Reactor, Skilled Investigator, Beat Cop to a certain extent, Avengers Mansion. There's not a lot of cards in the hero packs, I've noticed. Not a lot of heroes are focused on ramp. Like, for example, Captain America, a strong hero, but his power is all up front. And so if the boss has the ability to overwhelm your power up front, it never really gets better. He has his super soldier serum, but other than that, he doesn't really ramp. You need the ramping heroes to defeat the hardest challenges in the game. Doctor Strange has ramp a little bit. He has his Cloak of Levitation. But then he also has Sorcerer Supreme. And later he gets Cosmo, which I would count as a ramp card since it has a repeatable effect every round. But anyway, just a random thought. We'll do 2 threat, 1 test token, 1 attack against Nick Fury, and 1 encounter card. Size increase, that's fun. Okay, for the hero turn, let's go ahead and... what do I want to do here? We could go remove 1 threat. Definitely want to do that. We could go Mockingbird and get a stun. We can go ahead and clear the area. Draw a card. Flip the giant. Deal 1 damage. Actually, before flipping the giant, we'll deal 3 damage. Flip the giant, deal 1 damage, heal for 2. Get the stun off of Giant Ant-Man. And we're not going to use Mockingbird to attack because of the retaliate. It's not very efficient. I probably will save her. Well, I may just end up doing that next round, but let's save her for now. Then we'll draw 3. 2 threat, 1 test token. That brings a minion in. Bioservant. Remove stun and 1 encounter card. I think since the villain still activates, that does still remove 1 size counter. Neurological implants on the Bioservant. I may need to giant stomp that. So let's use Mockingbird to ping the toughness off. I don't have giant stomp. Oh, okay. So I need 6 damage. Let's deal 3. Flip to tiny. Remove 1 threat. Remove 1 threat. Army of ants for the other 3. And when we flip to tiny, we can draw a card. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for War Machine. And I'm not going to attack with him. I'll just leave him. I'm going to keep Wrist Gauntlets because I think now that I have the full setup, I may have the resources to use it sometimes. We're going to use War Machine's toughness to tank Zola's attack, so we'll draw 4. 2 threat. Zola will attack War Machine. 1 test token as well. Remove toughness. 1 less size counter, and then 1 encounter card, which is under attack. Place 2 threat here or deal 3 damage to your hero. I could take the 3 damage. With Ant-Man's helmet, I got decent healing, but I also have a lot of threat removal in my hand, so let's do that instead. I forget what Zola's phase 3 is. Do I want to put him in phase 3 here? I think so. Let's go 1, 2, phase 3. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion. That will be a... certainly not a mutate. Wait, is it put it into play? No, it's reveal it. If it was put it into play, I'd do the mutate because then you don't have to do his go find a terrible thing to attach to him. But it is reveal it, so we do have to do the quick strike. We can go ahead and ping Zola for 1 damage. Let's use Beat Cop. Let's go ahead and flip to Giant and lay down the law using Clear the Area, or lay down the law using Wrist Gauntlets for 4 threat. And then we'll Interrogation Room Clear the Area for 2 and draw a card. Also draw a card with Skilled Investigator. Oh, those are good card draws. 4 for Daredevil. We'll use him and Mockingbird to take out the mutate and use Giant Ant-Man, who should have healed for 2 when I flipped. 3 damage and 1 retaliate, and then we draw 4. Oh, we're out of cards. There's always some additional challenge, right? 2 threat, 1 test token, 1 attack. Get rid of the size increase. Getting into kill range now. Assuming nothing terrible happens here. Choose and discard 1 card from your hand and you cannot change form. I would really have liked his 3 damage, but we'll change to Scott Lang and exhaust. And the second encounter card is Defensive Programming, which does nothing because there's no minions. Size increase. Okay, that's not that bad in this situation. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. 8 damage. Let's flip to tiny. Remove 1 threat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 for Agent Coulson. Beat Cop. And do I keep Avengers Mansion? I don't think so. I'd like to maximize my chances of drawing Giant Stomp. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2 threat, 1 counter. Hope it's probably going to be a mutate. I think that's all that was left in the deck. If we get lucky, there won't be an attachment for it. Nope, neurological implants. At least it's not guard. We got 1 attack. Put that on, I think, Coulson. Mutate attacks for 4. 1 encounter card. Exhaust your identity card. That's annoying because I needed that 3 damage, or I wanted it. Okay, test subject. So can I do 9 here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think I do have it. Let's see. Can go. First, let's deal the 3 damage. Let's flip the giant. Deal 1 damage. Heal for 2. Let's go resize. Flip back to tiny. Move 1 threat. Draw a card. Resize again. Actually, we should draw another card for the helmet. Resize again. Flip back to giant. 1 damage. Draw a card. Heal for another 2. And then we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and finish off Zola. So overall, I wouldn't say that the giant size, hand size, is as big a deal as hand size is for Thor or Hulk, because you can mitigate it a lot and really only flip the giant when you specifically need to do something or when you want to resize, and you really don't lose that much. So I do think Ant-Man is a very strong S tier champion. Maybe not even S minus, maybe just a straight up S, because I really don't think that the giant form hand size is that big a deal. Really the hero revolves around Army of Ants and Ant-Man's helmet, and once you get set up with those, he's defeating most challenges. He's very strong. So anyway, thank you for watching.